Warden, I would
One.
like to make the show go now. Hello and welcome to Sheer Fucking Hubris, a podcast started by three buddies, three Star Trek fans. We get together each week. We talk about Star Trek episodes that we watched during the week. I am Joe Bob. Joining me is Mr. Willie
Hello.
and also Biblio Warden.
Hello.
How are you gentlemen doing this week?
Doing good.
Doing well.
Willie said it correctly, so he gets a point. Librarians everywhere should be shamed for your use of an adjective when the situation called for an adverb.
I am.
I'm being so fucking pedantic right now. I hate myself. Anyway,
As you should.
I think you'll get over it.
I have already forgotten it.
Yeah.
I have a healthy self-image. Let's just say that. The podcast is called Sheer Fucking Hubris after all. So this week we watched 2 episodes from the more current seasons and went back and picked up 2 episodes from classic Trek. We watched from Star Trek Picard season 3 episode 1. We're starting the newest seasons of that, and also Strange New Worlds season 2 episode 1. And we went back and we've been catching episodes of the older series that most of us, some of us may have seen, maybe not all of us. I think Warden had seen these 2. Willie, I believe these were new for you.
They were nuevo for me.
It was a Doctor double feature.
Right.
Star Trek Voyager season 4, episode 13, Message in a Bottle, and season 6, episode 4, Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy. All right. Well, let's start with the new episodes. Because we kind of had a theme this week. Undercover agent sends back a transmission, and so we go steal a fucking ship. It was kind of crazy how much the 2 lined up, I thought. How'd you guys feel about the kickoff to the new seasons of Strange New Worlds and Picard?
Well, it was interesting. I guess just right out of the gate, on behalf of Star Trek fans abound the world, thank you for fixing the Klingons and not making them look like a Little Shop of Horrors plaything.
Amen to that. I appreciated that as well.
So that was good. I guess I should say I enjoyed the Strange New Worlds episode,
Mm-hmm.
but it was interesting.
It
there
was.
There were some facets to this episode that kind of made me scratch my head a little bit. But you know what? I guess I enjoy playing a video game, and that's kind of what it felt like.
Well, it fluffed the old nostalgia dick a little bit, but let's talk about the main event as far as nostalgia. Let's start with Star Trek Picard.
Star Trek
Season
Deep Throat. Okay.
3, episode 1, The Next Generation. I mean, right from the title, crawl in the 25th century.
They did not bury the lead at all on this one.
They're like, God damn it, Joe Bob, Willie, and Warden. You have bitched and moaned about it. The only positive thing you had to say about season 2 was the ending and how it just cheaply tickled your nostalgia fancy. So we're just gonna put it all out there. Oh boy. So we open up in the 25th century. We get a movie era or TNG era theme going.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to the song from Fallout 3, 4. The old, I don't want to set the world on fire.
Yeah.
What the shit? And we're in a nice, peaceful nebula, and there's a ship there that looks like a Starfleet ship, but I don't know. Something about the ships in this one were weird size-wise, because I'm like, that's a big ship. I'm like, oh, no, it's not, because the little shuttle docked up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we pan through all these little nostalgia baits. We see Beverly's little flower that she was clipping on in Cause and Effect. We see her medical away team plaque. We hear Jean-Luc talking about the Borg. We see Jack Crusher's suitcase or some
Yeah.
shit. Typo
Carry on.
spray. And
But then finally you see the main event. You
old
see
Gates
Crusher,
McFadden
Beverly,
himself.
Doctor.
It's another
Oh man.
nostalgia.
Yeah, there you go. Now I'm tugging you a little bit.
Yeah, tell you a little bit.
It's still early in the night though, so
But
we
then she's
gotta
like, "Oh my God, they found me, Marty. I don't know how, but they found me."
the Libyans.
You got it. So the Libyans bust in wearing Court of Owls masks or some shit.
Oh no, right?
And she
Dials her phaser rifle up to obliterate.
right. It gets 6 shots. She's pumping it like a shotgun. This is no fucking phaser
No.
rifle I've ever seen.
Even
This
no,
is-
no. It was like a super soaker because she was pumping as she was shooting. It wasn't even like she was loading.
I don't think that's true, was it?
I'm telling you, there was not a very well defined firing process with this thing.
So they send 2 people in to take it over while the other 2 ships just kind of dick around, and they're not able to take on this geriatric woman.
Whose trigger
Who's been
discipline is just appalling.
Yeah. Yep. And then she straight up executes a dude.
Yeah, just full on. Yeah, Hippocratic
into-
oath my ass.
Yeah, I know, right? That's another theme, is doctors going ham and just kill mode activated.
I know. Oh man.
Oh, and so with more ships around her, she says, "Activate distress call, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard." And apparently, this is the only ship I've ever seen where the warp drive has to charge up. Maybe that's.
I
what
thought
she was doing.
I thought they were running silent, running deep.
Yeah,
So
I think
she
it's
kind
cold.
of had to
maybe.
power up.
Oh, good job.
There you go.
So
But let's also not forget though, the ship has an AI, and thank God they didn't name it fucking Zora or whatever. But
didn't they name it Elon?
Elos or something.
Oh,
Elios.
Elios.
Or something.
Yeah.
That'll be retconned when he is our overlord.
Did you ever watch? Hold on, I'm gonna sidetrack. Did you ever watch on Hulu Future Man?
No.
So they actually had a little bit in there where James Cameron actually was the one who he dove like as deep as anybody in the ocean and found like this particle that made time travel possible and all this stuff. But it was actually like legitimately James Cameron who did it. It was canon in the show.
I thought you were gonna say he dove too deeply.
Well, he did.
Too greedily.
So, but anyway, and it wasn't Elon. He was in Iron Man, right? They put him in there.
Yeah.
Was it an Iron Man or Iron Man 3? Because it sounds like an Iron Man 3.
It was Iron Man
quality
2,
deal.
I think.
I think you're right. I think it was this too.
He was at the race, right? That
I thought he was at the. I thought he was at the exhibit when all the things went talking about stuff going ham. I thought he was there at the World Fair, but
wasn't the World's
maybe
Fair
not.
in Iron Man in the first Iron? I don't know. No, you're right. I don't know. It's not important to this. God damn it.
It's not. Oh, sorry.
Bringing us back on track, let's go to Chateau Picard. where they're still picking out special forces out of the walls. They're packing shit up. Spring cleaning. They don't have that on Romulus, do they? And we get a nice porn shot of the D.
That's right.
It's like, first love. She wasn't the first, but she was my favorite. Okay.
She was the fat one.
The
chubby one or whatever.
Picard likes the fat
Picard
bottom
likes
girls.
them BBWs.
I don't know if that's what you were talking about the things for Joe Bob, but I've always said that about the Galaxy class. Like, I don't like it. It looks too fat. It's too curvy.
No, they in
looks
the
like
bar,
a fucking 1991 Ford Taurus in space.
No, in the bar, she was like, she said they had even the chubby one or something. He's like, that's a Galaxy class starship.
No, I absolutely no. I know. I'm saying when you texted me earlier in the week about all the stuff they threw in for Joe Bob.
Oh, okay, I
didn't know.
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't guess I've ever heard you say that, but anyway, which is funny because you're quite a stickler about ship design.
I am. But the D's got a lot of junk in the shuttle bay, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well,
So anyway, spring cleaning.
Star Trek's known for being inclusive, right?
I guess so.
Maybe not in the 90s, but they are now, by God.
So. That's the Tilly class to you, young man.
Oh my God.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Warden went there. I still hate Tilly. God damn it. She did not win me over.
She may have if they'd let her die, but they didn't even let her have that.
That's right. I wouldn't have made that joke if they'd. You know what? Let's not talk about
like Lieutenant
no,
Dan.
I don't want to talk about fucking season 4 of Disco. Let's just move on. We'll have a Disco reference later, and that's enough.
All right, make the show go now.
Vamonos. So he's gonna follow Laris like a good boyfriend, and he's like, "I don't give a fuck about the past." She's like, "It's okay, you can pretend." And then his comm badge starts going off, and he calls it an Enterprise D comm badge. I'm like, "No, it's not." All of Starfleet used that, Jean-Luc, and you changed away from that before the Enterprise D got blown up.
He said a TNG comm badge at first, and then they had to fix that. Hey, that's not in the script. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
I realize it's for the 11 people watching this show who didn't actually watch The Next Generation, but I feel like know thine audience. It was unnecessary. Anywho, he gets it, and it's got a codec. He says, "Try the Myriad codec," or whatever.
Yeah.
And
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's Beverly saying, "Trust no one," because Starfleet is normally so trustworthy. And some coordinates, and she says, "Hellbird, I repeat again, Hellbird." And he shows it to his new girlfriend, and she's like, "She was a doctor, right?" I love how she starts with the lead-in question. Like, the one she wants to ask is second, because she's like, "She was the doctor, if I recall correctly." He's like, "Yeah, it's on the Enterprise. You tried to fuck her, right?" He's like, "Tried," being the operative word. It's like, she's like, "Well, she's terrified, and you're the only one that can help him." And she's like, shit, you have to go. Because she knows that terror is the ultimate aphrodisiac. So she's like, "All right, go save your not girlfriend with all this unresolved sexual tension, and I'll just keep a spot open at the bar for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this will go well." So Picard needs a ship. So no Starfleet.
Oh boy.
He heads over and finds
what Picard needs right now are some rails, and get this goddamn show back on him already, because this was quite the caper.
What if Kirk had stepped out of the Nexus and been like, "Excuse me, what does Picard need with a starship?"
Yeah. I wish somebody had asked what Picard needed with a newsboy hat. I mean, like, if you're not How
It's
how
the
does an
most
admiral in
Picard
the
thing.
Federation keep a
This
low profile by doing that? Come
retired.
on.
Retired. Congratulations on that.
Uh,
Oh my god. We'll get to Captain Dickweed in a
yeah,
minute.
we get to Captain Asshat because I love a good 3-dimensional character.
I feel like this could have just been Johnny Frakes and Patrick Stewart being like, "We're not doing anything. Let's just break into Paramount and make our own Star Trek show." You know?
Oh man.
Oh, they're at the bar. Federation Day's coming up, and nobody wants to buy the fat Enterprise D, and Riker's got to make a stupid ass speech, and
Oh,
uh,
but Deanna didn't want to be in this season, so they're
that was
on a
a
girls'
weird. Yeah,
trip
that was a
without
weird.
him.
Deanna and I guess their daughter
Their
from the
son.
was it a
Oh
son
yeah.
or a
No, it's a
daughter?
Oh
daughter.
yeah, his son died from the computer chip disease, right?
Right, that could have been saved if they had
Yeah.
just put him in a golem body.
Jeez.
Everybody remember Picard's a robot. Anyway, so Will
Yeah, we
says,
just totally let that go. Just we're not even gonna address it.
I don't think we're going to address it this season.
I don't
Maybe a
know that we
throwaway
can.
line.
Yeah.
So Riker says, well, Hellbird, that's all about when you were all locutused up. This super complex Borg virus fucked with it completely screwed our navigation systems up. It just arbitrarily added a 3 to every single coordinate. I'm like, that's not arbitrary. It was adding a 3 to every single thing. And like, that's like a practical joke. That's like when you take the keys off somebody's computer keyboard and like put them in alphabetical order. It's not really this super advanced virus, but that's okay. Riker's like, I got an idea. We'll go to Titan. It used to be my ship. We'll just
We'll go to
get
the
on
Dick
board.
Hammer.
Mm-hmm. Picard's like, I don't like this plan. He's like, it's not a plan, it's a ruse.
Yeah. Oh man. So we show
Riker and
up,
Picard's
but
interaction.
we say you're gonna like the first officer,
Yeah.
right?
Riker and Picard's interaction is the highlight of this episode, I think. They're good together. Frakes and Stewart still
Yeah.
got that chemistry. Right, yeah. He's like, well, you're not gonna like the captain because he's a giant fucking
He's a dickwad.
yeah. Fucking cum spittoon asshat. But you'll like the first officer. So they get to the Titan and they're like, Titan is not nostalgic enough. Let's make it a Neo-Constitution class.
Oh my god, I know, right? And this was like when they unveiled NCC 1701A versus the original. Actually, not even that. The Constitution refit. Remember, we were like oohing and ahhing over that. That was basically what this was. They just dusted it off.
Some Starship
mean,
porn, yeah.
Yeah, holy cow,
I
Neo
have no idea how big
Constitution
this ship
class.
is. The scales of the ships threw me off in this episode. It's a minor complaint, but I'm gonna make it. Oh, it looked like it was the size of a Constitution class, but based on the shuttle bay,
I
But so
believe
cool
it's
that
bigger, but I can.
I mean, it should be bigger, but and you know what?
who cares?
Mm.
So but a captain, Riker's active, right? He's active duty captain, right?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure
And
I thought he was retired. No, you're right.
No, he's active duty, and
No,
Picard
Dickweed
is
would have pointed
retired
out if he was
admiral.
retired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think we did miss a thing, did he? So, but old senile Picard is retired, but they're still going to do a surprise inspection on a ship because apparently that since
You can
that's
do
never
that.
happened in Star Trek canon anywhere, right?
Well, nobody
We're
steals
going to do it
Starship.
now.
Look, whatever.
So we get on there, and Seven warns us. And I guess Seven and Riker never met. I didn't realize that. Whatever. So they go on, and
The captain prefers that I go by Hanson because this captain's the biggest dickhead ever. She's like, he denies me my true self.
That's right.
And who I want to be. He won't let me be my identity that I identify with, whatever.
Because he's a white male. We're still shitting on white males in this show.
And boy, is he. He is everything that I hate about white men.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But we haven't met him yet because
No,
we got to cut to the real piece of shit in this galaxy. Operative Rafaela Musiker. Oh,
I'm sitting there watching that, and it took me 0.87 seconds to realize, well, she's doing some kind of Rogue One bullshit on this planet. She is not falling off the wagon. This is a ruse, because Star Trek wouldn't do that. They just wouldn't do it.
But
if it did happen,
I was so goddamn mad because I was like, this is gonna be a ruse, but this is exactly what that piece of shit would have gone and done.
Yep.
Rafi, I do not like you. I just want to remind everybody that Rafi's a piece of shit.
What? No, she had her redemptive arc last season.
No.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Don't you remember? She realized that she was a piece of shit, and she decided to stop being a piece of shit. You didn't catch that last season?
No. She decided that Eleanor was back, and so she was like, "Oh well, guess I didn't learn anything after all."
You cannot read anything subtextually. God, you were so obtuse.
Well,
you were the reason that they
show
write
for
this
me,
show.
Billy.
This is the reason they write this show this way.
God damn it!
Oh
so
my God,
it's
like talking to a blockhead over here. Crime in Italy. All right.
You're gonna hurt my feelings if you keep going.
Well, that's okay. We have to be inclusive.
Anywho, Rafi is off on a Star Wars planet somewhere and gathering intel for Starfleet operations, Starfleet security, whatever. Maybe Section 31. I don't know. And
it's for a division of Star Trek or Starfleet that we didn't know existed until this moment, pretty much, right?
Basically. Yeah. I think she says intelligence. She's an intelligence.
Yeah, she said Starfleet intelligence. Yeah.
Okay, and the Orion says the Green Man tells her to look for the Red Lady. So she's like, I can't figure it out. Can I talk to you face to face? And the voice on the computer is like, denied. But I just really want it denied. But maybe if I could talk to you, denied. I'm like, Rafi, you suck.
Yeah.
She tries 23 searches then before she figures out the Red Lady might be a target. And the Red Lady.
And we got a little bit more nostalgia porn for you.
Oh yeah, because they've stolen a quantum tunneling device. Well, what does a quantum tunneling device do? Well, you're gonna figure it out soon. We're gonna tell you in just a minute. But the Red Lady is a statue of Captain Rachel Garrett of the Enterprise C. And I was like, oh my God. I hope they don't bring fucking Tasha Yar into this bullshit. I will say this. The good thing about it being just nostalgia bukkake, just left and right, is you don't know which one is an actual foreshadowing and which one
is a red herring.
It's just a remember this. But when I see Rachel Garrett, I think yesterday's Enterprise, that's good. And I think, oh my God, that's what gave us fucking Tasha Yar going back and Sela. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't drag Denise Crosby into this, would they?
I don't know. She lost a lot of money in that final fight with Lionheart, so maybe she needs to. Maybe she needs to dust off the pocketbook.
Anyway, she's trying to raise somebody. She's like, I think you might be in for a terrorist attack. And then a butthole opens up and swallows the whole thing anus. And then poops it right back out. Yep, the devil's anus.
Like, well, it was like a portal gun. Why did they just say
it was
they stole
exactly
the portal
like
gun?
A portal gun.
When I saw this, I was like, "God damn it! It's Portal. Somebody's playing Portal."
The cake is a lie.
What's his name? Would absolutely have even would have what is his name?
Which
GLaDOS?
one?
The guy who runs the
Merchant?
no,
Oh no!
from
I know who
Portal.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
All I know is GLaDOS. The
Johnson.
It was
Johnson.
a farmer's
What's
insurance
his?
guy.
Yeah. He would have made this.
Yeah, he would have.
Aperture Industries.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know who you're thinking of the guy's name. I can't think of it. I was thinking of the little robot voiced by Stephen Merchant. Is that his name?
Marchant.
The tall, goofy British guy?
Yeah. He would have been good too. But
Isn't the robot named GLaDOS? Isn't that the robot?
GLaDOS was the bad one.
Yeah. Well,
she
spoilers.
was the tester.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. Look, if you're listening to sheer fucking hubris, you played Portal. Okay,
1 and 2. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever finished 2. I need to go back and play it.
2 was fantastic, but 1 was fantastic, but 2.
I love
2
the
had a
song
story.
at the end of 1.
This was a triumph. Yeah. I have it on my playlist.
Nice.
You would. All right. Enough strolls down memory lane. Let's get back to the present.
To the scroll down memory lane.
Where they introduce us to the bridge staff. It's like, is the helmsman special? They're like, Lieutenant LaForge, eyes forward.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh. Hey, you had a nickname, didn't you? What? What?
Oh God, Dad's awkward friends.
Yeah.
She played that wonderfully.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that the just upstanding professionalism of Star Trek Discovery has bled over into Star Trek Picard. I mean, you're a retired admiral, but you are still an admiral in Starfleet. Show some fucking decorum on this bridge.
No, it was Riker. I mean, Picard was like, excited to see her or whatever, but he's the one who's like, Will, shut up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Will, shut up.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, that's not exactly. And he says, shut it, Will.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you think
that was
Crash?
Like, nice recovery. Yeah.
You think they're going to have her crash the ship at some point? Or is that just like a one-off joke?
Hopefully it's a one-off. I mean, hopefully it's a one-off because I don't want to see Shaw again after this episode. I mean,
God.
He was terrible. So, fun fact, he was the captain of the fishing boat that Marshall and Lily tried to get married on in Atlantic City in How I Met Your Mother. And he played the exact same captain in that episode that he did here.
Maybe he's the mysterious handler of Rafi.
Maybe so.
Because you know that's going to be somebody.
I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere. And then it finally clicked. I was like, there's no way he was the captain on the Atlantic City fishing boat. And by God, he was. It took me forever to find a picture of him. By the way, there's not a ton of those floating around. I'm betting
that by the end of the series, we will be able to count the number of new characters who aren't directly connected to the TNG crew on one hand. Whoever the handler is, she's somebody. She was in an episode somewhere, or the son of somebody, or some, I don't think we're going to get a lot of new folks.
No.
Probably not. At this point, why bother? You've brought back the ensemble cast.
They are going to go to the well every chance they get. Till the well runneth dry.
The last episode of the season will be named The Well Runneth Dry.
And it'll be spelled WHALE, and it'll be a reference to the Enterprise D, and we'll get to see the refit.
That's right. The only ship to fly on the Z-axis.
You made that joke last week, and Strange New Worlds proved your ass wrong.
That's true. All right.
Anyway, so we still haven't met the captain, even though we've talked about him several times. Guess who's coming to dinner? So we go, and Mr. I keep the trains running on time is like, oh, I started early because your reputations are so big and preceded you so much that I felt like you were already here. Like, you pissant.
Yeah, no, what a dick. I mean,
Picard's like,
let's
oh, I
just.
brought you a gift. It's from Chateau Picard. He's like, I'm a Malbec man.
Yeah, an asshat. Here's the thing, and this is as we've talked about. I love a good one-dimensional character whose only job is to be nefarious. But it's not even believable that somebody who behaves like that would be a captain in Starfleet. It's not even believable that they would be a middle manager in corporate America. Like, I mean, they have.
Middle manager? Possibly.
I mean, he's just nothing but pure dick. Like, there was no way. It was almost like they said, act like Lorca, but you're
Without
not as
any
good
of
of
the
an actor as
charm,
Jason Isaacs.
charisma,
So, yeah. So you're not
humor.
going to pull it off. So,
Maybe
yeah, this
he'll
guy was a
get. Look,
clown.
I hope he is not this one-dimensional. Maybe he will come around and like end up helping him and be a little bit more of a Starfleet officer. But as it was, he was a total prick. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, this is real music, not that jazz bullshit with your swinging dick and just seat of your pants. He's like, I like tempo, I like rhythm. That's how I jerk it, bitches. And they're like, oh my god, this dude has issues. And then he's like, well, that punctuates it. He flips Picard off and calls him an ex-Borg motherfucker. Tells Seven to remember her loyalties and says, peace out. And they're like, holy shit. And then he walks out the door. He's like, enjoy your rooms, bitches.
Puts him in the bunkhouse.
Holy shit. And then Seven, I think, cues him out. It's like, what the hell's going on? It's like, yeah. Oh, I forgot. He flat out told him no.
Yeah.
Riker's ruse did not work.
No.
And Picard's like, oh yeah, we're going to Deep Space 4. Deep Space 4 doesn't exist. Oh shit.
You senile old bastard. Yeah.
Ooh.
So they get out, but it's okay because somehow in the commercial break, Seven redirects the ship to take them exactly where they need to go. And
which I kind of got the impression it was a long ass way away.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got too.
But they got there during the captain's nap time.
He drank too much Malbec.
I guess so.
And so he wakes up and he's like, where the fuck are we? Because of course he's got windows that look exactly where it needs to look at that exact moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, technically, well, I guess they look forward, maybe. I don't know.
But anyway, so he's like, what the fuck happened?
Seven. I will say I laughed pretty hard when he put him in the crew bunks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Like when I was a cadet, except I don't remember having to get up to pee this much.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I do like Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah. See, like I can imagine Riker being less professional.
Yeah.
When he does it, it's not so jarring. But obviously, Seven took one for the team because she doesn't feel very good about Starfleet. She's like, how can I lead people if all I do is take shit from this asshole? Picard's like, that's the trick, isn't it?
You got to figure out how to do the old reach around.
Yep.
So
it's like
because the riders overplayed their card on tractor beams and it's currently in the discard pile.
I know,
we have
right?
no recourse to get this shuttle back when
it's on cooldown. He figures it out before the shuttle even leaves. It's like, put it on lockdown. Ship lockdown, sir. Sir, we just had a unauthorized launch. I'm like, wait, what does lockdown mean? They're like, I guess they're gone forever. But here's the thing. They can scan that there's a fucking ship in the nebula. You would think that at that point the ship would want to, the Titan would want to go see what's there.
Yeah.
But he's just like, nah, Seven, give me a full report. Make sure to incriminate yourself as much as possible.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So the shuttle flies off into
So there's
the
two life
sunset.
signs. One is easy to read. One is hard to read. I'm like, that makes sense because the one that's hard to read is Beverly. It's almost dead. But then they're like, no, the one that's easy to read is Beverly. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And they
The
get
one
there
that's
and they're
hard
like,
to read is in this is quarantined off in this room that she locked him in, apparently.
mm-hmm. So then they get there and they're like, Beverly killed some people. He's like, she
Yeah.
went full fucking John Wick.
This one from point blank directly into the floor.
Kill shot. He's like, you ever seen phaser burns like this? So it wasn't even a standard. Like, she modified the phasers to be even more explodey. Yeah.
Yeah. But she still to only have a certain number of shots. She blew open the vent. You know, I didn't really understand. I forgot about that in the opening credits or the opening scene. She blows the vent open to distract him, so then she can shoot him when he didn't know where she was to start with.
Well, yeah, but she would have had to like pop out where he could see her. He was coming towards her, but didn't know exactly where she was. They knew the general direction.
Yeah, she saw his reflection in the forklift mirror.
Yeah. Whatever. It's fine.
Whatever.
It's fine. Look, that ain't the biggest problem with that scene.
That's true.
So anyway, Picard finds Beverly and he's like, and he wonders to himself if he has time to rub one out before Riker gets there. But then he's like, number one, I found her. And Riker's somebody got the jump on Riker. Who is it? And Picard talks to him for a minute, and then Riker elbows him in the face.
Yeah,
he's like, enough
beats
talk.
the shit out of him. Yeah.
Like, God damn, Riker.
He was already letting him go. He capitulated, and then Riker's like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna punch you anyway."
Well, Riker knew. He's like, all right, you got arthritic hands. I got bad knees. It's like, as long as we don't have to move or shoot.
Yeah, that's good.
We're in good shape. He's like, but my elbow is fine, motherfucker.
Oh man!
And Picard's like, well, you must care for her because she's in the pod. Patrols are on the outside.
It's really gonna come back to bite Riker when they find out that's Picard's son.
I was like, don't say that you're her son. Don't say that you're her son. He's like, I'm her son. I was like, God damn it. And then he's like, you fucked up. You led us here. I'm like, well, don't worry. The Titan's right there. They're not going to let anything bad happen to you. But apparently, I guess the Titan is skedaddled.
They cheesed it.
I don't fucking... doesn't make any goddamn sense. Whatever. And so then the fucking Beetle ship claw. I don't know. It's like they're in a fucking claw machine and it just kind of comes down from the ceiling. He's like, see for yourself. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, boy. Well, I enjoyed that a lot. Personally.
I enjoyed it more than any Star Trek Picard episode I have seen.
I don't know.
Maybe not more, but that I can remember.
Yeah, I did too. Here's the thing. I am so gun shy now with Picard season openers. It's like it's kind of like a date with Bill Cosby. Like you get excited because like Bill Cosby asks you out. Like he's, you're like, yeah, you're gonna have drinks, and he's funny and everything. And then it just sort of turns in. Then it takes a turn somewhere along the lines, and you end up with a headache.
And you wake up at a day's end. The day's end, yeah.
Yeah. And like season 2 at least ended with a little nostalgia. Like you woke up and he did his pudding pops routine or some shit for you. You're like, oh, I almost forgot what the last 8 hours were like. So, I mean, yeah, it's Star Trek Picard.
That was very vivid.
You know what I wish was more vivid is the goddamn lighting.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think all the light bulbs go to Strange New Worlds.
I
There's
mean,
none left for Discovery or Picard.
I'm gonna
Or
bitch about like the uniforms are they're all black. They've toned down. Like the red command is now like this dark maroon, and you can't fucking see anyway. It's a nitpicky gripe, but like I had trouble seeing shit. I know I'm getting old, but good God, at least on this Federation starship, light the fucker up a little bit.
Yeah, we're definitely away from the 80s and 90s bright and cheery. That's for sure.
I'm not even asking for bright and cheery. I'm just asking for like,
Visible.
yeah, like adjust the screen until the red uniforms are visible. Fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
well,
Eh.
but
They
overall,
wouldn't actually make that Picard's son, do you think?
I
Oh,
hope
they
not.
can totally make that
I mean,
Picard
yeah, I
son.
hope not, but they totally could. It's
No.
really going to make things awkward with Laris. Yikes. Awkward. But
Laris would be cool with a son. She's not gonna be cool with him fucking Beverly. But they made a point of saying you tried to be lovers, right? Picard was like, tried being the operative word. Maybe tried means, yeah, I slipped it to her once, but she never came back.
you went on to the
Ah,
Well,
E and no more D.
lovers implies like an extended period
that's what
of
I'm saying.
multiple. Yes.
Right. I don't know. My first thought, because I looked at the dude, I was like, holy shit, he looks like Jack Crusher from the. I was like, surely to God they wouldn't do it's a Jack Crusher clone that she made and raised as
And
like
that's why
a
she can't.
surrogate son, and that's why she's been outside Federation space. Because
No, Jurassic World 5 has already come out. I don't think we need to see that again.
right, because they wouldn't borrow from other media.
Picard won't. That's Disco's get bag.
um, Picard is willing to beg, borrow, and steal from anything. I think. I mean, especially anything with a Star Trek label
I was
on it.
about to say anything Star Trek, yeah. But so
You think that maybe she's doing genetic engineering? I think there's some genetic. There's got to be a reason she's outside of Federation space. She's
and
doing
didn't
something
want to
that ain't
talk to the
kosher.
Federation.
So maybe she's
Or
trying to.
or
You think she's trying to genetically engineer him to cure whatever disease Picard had?
no, I think Starfleet genetically engineered him. He's like a new breed of augment and she busted him out. And that's why she's on the lam and said not to trust Starfleet. This is some guy this is like the pig boy in Seinfeld that Kramer busted out of the hospital. She found him. It was some kind of medical test experiment. She found him. She busted him out and then went on the run. And that's why they hadn't heard from her in 20 years. And that's my theory. It's not her actual son, but it has something to do with that. She had to bust him out and they're on the run.
Mm.
And you think
Why else would she have broke contact for 20 years and been like, "Don't trust Starfleet. I can only trust Picard. I'm sending a coded message that he has to get with Jonathan Frakes to be able to, decode if you can." And
why would that be 20 years? She would
Well,
wait to do that.
because he's probably about 20 years old.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, why would she wait 20 years to get Picard's help? She just now
Because
got into it so deep that she needs help.
I don't know that the two things are related. I think the fact that she went away is probably just something mundane, like I didn't want to involve you or something like that. And the fact she's calling him now is because she got herself in deep shit and doesn't have a choice. So I don't know that one's
I
connected
can't
to the
believe
other.
I can't believe after 4 seasons of Discovery and 2 seasons of Picard, Warden is trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that whatever they're planning makes sense and is not related.
I'll say this: whatever the reason is, and whatever's chasing them is somebody we know.
Of course.
I would be shocked if it is a brand new villain. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I bet it's maybe it's Tashi Yar.
Why do you keep going to that well?
Because
I don't think it happens. Have you seen Denise Crosby lately? I do not think that she is in the shape to act anymore.
Oh, well, all right then. The Rachel Garrett thing may have put Tasha Yar on the brain.
Maybe so. I think they just did that because it was just. I think that was like you're talking about. It was the misdirection. I think it was just there was a statue of her, and they're like, "Who can we make this statue be?" And they made it her. Why she had to be a red statue, I don't really get that. That seemed
That
a
was
little
really
weird.
weird.
I guess because they wanted to name it the Red Lady, and they're like, "Well, fuck, let's just make the statue red."
I liked her jacket. It reminded me of Kirk's jacket in Wrath of Khan.
Talking about
Beverly's.
Crusher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
All right. What was your favorite thing about this episode, Warden? Since we're not doing an overall good, bad, and hubris, let's just for this episode, what was your good?
I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, yeah, I think my favorite part was kind of what you guys said earlier, the interplay between Picard and Riker. I think that felt believable and not horribly forced. And there was some genuinely amusing banter in there. And not all of it had to do with nostalgia. Some of it's just good, hey, we're old jokes. So yeah, I liked that probably more than anything. So I liked this episode. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
All right, Willie. How about you?
Two things. Number one was it did just kind of feel like Picard and Riker were like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just do another season of Picard because they were hamming it up. They were having fun. Thought that was good. And then even though we're even though we're shitting all over it, and I feel dirty for saying it, I liked the Neo Constitution. I was like, this thing looks pretty good. I was like,
I
I'm
also
kind of
too.
digging it. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was beautiful.
I can't wait to see the Neo Excelsior and the Neo Miranda and the by God, if they're gonna do it to one, they better do it to all of them. Let's just phone it. Let's make it cheap all the way around. This is a Neo Cavort.
um, let's see. I was going to say something. Oh, I forgot to mention that's actually LeVar Burton's daughter.
Yes,
Jordy
it is.
Jr.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, I again, my favorite part was the Frakes and Stewart interactions. I didn't hate Seven's character either in this. I wouldn't mind seeing more of Seven.
As long as
I
she
like
cut Rafi loose.
she didn't cut Rafi
No,
loose, I'm
she
afraid.
didn't. No, that was all the ruse.
It was all a facade.
Yeah. To fool Dave Bautista into giving her the secrets.
Sure.
I can't remember what his actual name was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Drax the Destroyer?
Drax, yeah, Drax.
Hell, he's no Big Show.
No, he's no Big Show. But overall, I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either.
I dare say I enjoyed it.
Again, I mean, it's an invitation from Bill Cosby to go have a great time. I'm excited. But, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Here's round 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any predictions? I think it's a little early for predictions. We've made a few, but I'm not going to go any further.
Nah, that's not.
I mean, I have things I could. I think. Yeah.
All right. Star Trek Picard, Season 3, Episode 1, The Next Generation. Barf. Anyway, nostalgia. Pretty good. Moving on to Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the opening episode of Season 2, entitled May the Circle Be Unbroken, or something.
The Broken Circle, yes.
A Broken Circle. We start off at Starbase again. Starbase 1 was another or Earth space. I don't know the difference between Earth Space Dock and Starbase 1. Anyway, we're gonna say it's the same thing. They are in for a little R&R. They've got a inspection team and a skeleton crew. We get an interaction with I think it starts out with Pike and Una.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, just forget it, Chris. He's like, have you called the Cochrane firm? What about Alexander Shunanara? She's like, no, Chris, no one will take the case. He's like, well, I'm gonna go find somebody. So he goes off. She's like, you're really gonna take 3 days away from the Enterprise? And he's like, yes, because the script says I need to not be here.
Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah.
He tells Spock, it'll be fine. Spock's like, I'm in charge and I'm just a lieutenant because you're leaving and the first officer's in jail and the chief engineer's dead and the security officer is gone. So he's like fifth in line, but he's in charge.
So I don't. So you talked about the skeleton crew. I don't know how old I was when I saw Star Trek Episode 5 for the first time, but I had no idea why it mattered that all he had was a skillet and a crew on board. But I thought that for way longer than I should have.
A skillet crew?
I blame James Doohan, the Gaelic bastard. He's like, we got less than a skillet and crew aboard. I'm like, what the fuck does a skillet and crew mean?
We've barely got enough people to feed and only one skillet to feed them, Captain.
Because he's sitting there eating a bag of rice. I mean, it made sense. Anyway,
I can see, it's kind of like we don't have a pot to piss in, Captain.
Exactly. Unless it's a skillet and crew aboard. But again, this was in the days before closed captioning, so I kind of just had to roll with what I thought I heard. Watch that scene and tell me if it doesn't sound like he says skeleton crew. Then skeleton crew.
Oh, let's see. So they're coming in and they're gonna do a upgrade on Uhura's phone, and she's like, "Kate, I'm getting a call, and it's from La'an." And she says, come at once. Federation security need all Enterprise resources. And so Spock calls a meeting and is basically says, well, we need to find a way to get people off the ship. I'm turning into I'm going to end up writing some goddamn fan fiction or something because Spock and Chapel. God damn. When he's like, I thought it was obvious we're going to steal the ship. And she's like, he's a logical and he's a he's a bad boy, like best of both worlds. She's got this look on her face like you could drown a toddler in her panties right about then. So of course everybody is just says, "Yep,
Yeah.
let's do it," because
Why not?
It's a Starfleet thing. People
Well,
still
hey, Burnham set the precedent. Nothing bad really happens to you.
That's right.
Mutiny.
Okay.
That's right. They're like, that is Michael Burnham's half brother.
Yep.
No question, or step brother, whatever the fuck they are.
And they managed to fool everybody but Dolores Umbridge, and so she stays.
That's not Dolores Umbridge.
It's damn close to it. At least it
No,
started out that way.
she is somehow younger than she was on. Oh shit! What's the show? Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I've never seen Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh,
I didn't actually mean the actress who played Dolores Umbridge. I meant just this annoying, like, loopy headmaster who was.
you thought she was annoying? You didn't find her at all in the most little bit intriguing?
The Lanthanoid series.
Yeah. Yeah, she talks about hiding, but then finally coming out to Spock's mother, which is, this released during Pride Month, so I think that's a pretty obvious commentary that there are people among us that are still hiding who they are, and we should consider them not human. Which is a weird take.
Exactly.
Weird take for Star Trek, but hey, do you, I guess.
You do you.
Jesus.
So anyway, they get Ensign Not Sulu to go fake a warp core breach. She has a name, I'm sure, and she's already got more character than most of the people on Discovery. So I shouldn't call her Not Sulu, but I legitimately do not know her name.
Not yet, Sulu. How about that?
Not yet, Sulu?
Not yet, Sulu.
I'm not sure who we're talking about.
The Asian running the helm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think her.
More not Sulu.
Okay.
Do you need?
It took me a minute. That's all.
Or
the
actually,
one that's not Ortega.
Actually, it's wrong for me to say the not Asian, because when I watched Star Trek TOS, I realized that apparently it's still PC to say Oriental. I heard that. I was like, "Oh boy." Oh no, it's definitely not.
No.
But when they were like, we got all sorts of people in Starfleet, blacks, whites, Orientals, we got them all. I was like, oh wow.
Even got a Chinaman. Anyway, so she fakes a warp core breach, and everybody gets the hell out of Dodge except for Commander Pelulu, and she's like, "Oh, I don't think there's a warp breach. I teach a class on it at the academy." Spock's like, "Oh shit." He's like, "You're stealing the Enterprise because Vulcans can't lie." He's like, maybe. And so she's like, "Well, you might want to vent the nacelles." And Taco's like, "I would do that. Should I do that?" Spock's like, "Go for it." Because they got to steal it because April said no. They did take it to April. I forgot about that. But anyway, they're stealing the Enterprise. But, they've got time enough for Ortega to be like, "So what's your thing? What you going to say?" And I'm like, he should be saying, "Punch it, dumbass. We don't have time for this." But he thinks about it for a while. And best he can come up is, "I would like the ship to go now."
Which to me, I love it. That was perfect.
It's very, very Spock.
Mm-hmm. So she punches it, and they go, because again, we just had to blow the docking clamps as a safety precaution. Which, I mean, that actually made sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get the ship away, and then they start refusing our hails, and they bolt out of here.
And everybody in Starbase 1 is looking at it like, I wonder where they're going. I mean, they did just ask us for permission to go rescue their crewmen.
He can tell us exactly where they were.
You think they're coming back? Maybe let's give them a minute. We just saw like 17 ships parked outside. Should we send one of those? Let's just wait a few days, see if they come back.
Well, Scotty
sure.
stole some of the screws from the transwarp drive in the other ship, so there was no hope.
We'll go with that. And that all happened off screen, and we didn't hear how mad the admirals were about it. Anyway, so they had the cathode R4 or whatever it's called, and we see Lon is having a drinking contest. She's doing the Marion Ravenwood with some Klingon douchebag burping in his face. She drinks some under the table. She's like, but what I really want to know is what's going on with all this stolen Federation tech. And Chick's like, hey, might not even talk to you. She's like, well, that's we all got problems, sister. And so she arranges a meeting with some Klingons about the same time.
Because again, I was just gonna say same with Discovery. Klingons are known for their subterfuge and their profiteering and and all that good stuff. But hey, whatever. I'm still giving Strange New Worlds a pass because they made them look like Klingons.
Well, the Empire just got unified, so it's still maybe more like 24 separate houses. Maybe you have your Ferengi-led house. I don't know. Whatever.
At least they didn't refer to Lacrelle, Empress Lacrelle.
Well, I wondered why they didn't, because they're like, it'll start a war. Everything was like, it could start a war. I'm like, wait, you got Lacrelle on the other side.
That's right. And old Ash Tyler slinging D, you ought to be good to go.
Yeah. Be like, you want to start a war? I'll push this button and blow your fucking planet up.
Oh, boy.
Well, I will say this. One thing that I kind of like about this episode, same reason I like Peaky Blinders, is because I like the idea of exploring like how the societal wide trauma after a massive war affects people. Like normally in Star Trek, it's like, oh, there was a war and now it's over. But I mean, definitely if 100 million Federation lives were lost.
Yeah, geez, that was a big number.
Then I mean, you remember the Klingons were like 2 hours away from Earth. They were like Saturn when they got the call that somebody had mined their fucking home planet to turn around. So I mean, it was not going well, and that was just a year or two ago. So anyway, after she drinks Klingon dude under the table, then she sees Dr. Bongo, who gives her the nose touch.
Second base.
Yep. And Lon fills them in that they're treating people for ion burns, which could only come from a photon torpedo. So Chapel and Benga are like, all right, we'll go over there. We'll keep a low profile by busting out our Starfleet medical kits. Whatever, and who would have thought that draws suspicion from the authorities, who then capture them. Let's see. Not before Lon tells them that the plan is to reignite the war because war profiteers are bad.
Yep.
And so let's see. So sorry. So Chapel and Binga get captured and taken to the caves. Look like the fucking Temple of Doom or something. And like, I wonder how that got in there. And sure enough, there's a Federation starship underneath.
With drop cloths still in it.
Huh?
With drop cloths as the corridors.
Yep.
I mean, I will say at this point, I found this a little like I've seen these space docks.
I know, right?
Do you really think you can? I'll buy. You could cobble together like a shuttlecraft or something if you needed to, but not an actual functioning starship in a cave. The amount of quote Federation tech you would have to steal for that is literally a goddamn starship's worth.
And it's not that hard to steal a starship. As we've proven, multiple times. You can just go to Space Dock and take one of those. I mean, just do that.
I was like, I was like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're doing this. All right, you know.
Something that really annoyed me about it is then they call the ship a crossfield class. I'm like,
No.
wait, what?
Yeah.
The front looks like a crossfield, but
yeah, okay. Technically, she said I think that's a crossfield, but like it doesn't look anything like a crossfield. So
I can't say that I really know what a crossfield class looks like.
Discovery is crossfield class.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, was the saucer section spinning? No. Did it? No. I mean, whatever.
In fairness, most of the crossfields did not. Whoa. But
well, in fairness, the only two we know of are the Glenn and the Discovery, and they both had the spore drive on it. And maybe Discovery is actually a crossfield refit.
The Glenn spun too greedily and too deeply
and too rapidly. Anyway, so Binga and Chapel are on the Klingon ship, and they're like, "Yep, the torpedoes are here. I bet they're gonna use this to start a war." And they're like, "We should probably go to the bridge, but we're just gonna waltz in there." And Bingo goes, "Nope, because I've got the super soldier serum." Chapel's like, "Do you carry it with you?" And he says, "Never leave home without it. Sponsored by MasterCard." That is an old joke, and I don't even know if it's MasterCard.
I don't recall.
May have been American Express.
I think you may be correct.
American Eagle. God damn, my brain is. Anyway. Oh, and we learned that I started talking about how I like how shows explore trauma from wars, because talking to the Klingon, it brings up that apparently Bingo was a lot more involved than
everybody knew.
Some of the other officers on Enterprise. He's another fighting doctor. So they inject themselves with the super soldier serum and begin a very, very long fight scene.
Mm-hmm. Like Peter Griffin and the chicken.
I was like, wrap this up, guys. And it's not like the Daredevil fight, in the MCU where it's like a hallway scene and it's one cut. So you're like, that's pretty impressive. They are cutting every second and a half, I guess, because maybe these two are not the best fighters and need cuts and close-ups and shaky cam. Anyway, it goes on way too long, and they just throw the Hippocratic Oath out the window. Because they are straight up murdering people. And here's another Klingon that doesn't really care about dishonor. They're like, "Tell us what we need to know." He's like, "Don't hit me."
Can't stand that. He asks the same question 3 times. It just irritates me. Fine. Where is Dr. Evil's secret volcano lair? You have to tell him. No. The second question was, do I really have to ask you 2 more times? Which would be sorry. I've broken. I've gone Austin Powers here.
Ah, damn, Willie. Anyway, they're gonna hotwire the transponder to also say, blow us up, Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, they start looking for a way off the ship, and they find a helmet and a jetpack.
The Ziploc bag. Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks.
Oh boy.
Meanwhile, up in space, the Enterprise is hiding in the rings of catheter or whatever, and one of them new D7s comes in, and credit where credit's due, it looks sexy.
It did. That's what I'm saying. This episode rectified so many wrongs with the Klingons that Discovery did.
It looks sexy, and then it pirouettes away and goes to the other side of the planet. And then Lon's like, "I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be soon." And then Up comes the ship out of the ground. And she's like, holy shit. Flies off and they pick it obviously they pick it up on the scanners and it's going to attack the Klingons to start a war. So Spock's gotta lay in pursuit course because there's no way to talk to the Klingons, apparently. And it starts shooting at the Enterprise immediately because yeah, whatever.
Yeah, because it needed to. Because that wasn't going to blow their cover.
Right. And the Klingon ship is not picking up any of this, all these explosions and phaser fire, because they're in the rings of the planet. Whatever.
The planet core. That was a good movie.
No, it wasn't. No lie. I think it's the best movie of the prequels.
Yeah.
This is a take no one agrees with, but I feel like it's at least a movie. The others I'm not so sure about. It's definitely better than episode 2. And I would
Episode 2
die
is terrible.
on that hill.
All right, so
Anyway,
the Enterprise
Klingon
busts
ship
out.
notices they come, and Spock doesn't want to give the order to fire because apparently they made this ship. The reason they were able to make the ship so quickly is because apparently it's paper mache. They're like, we only have time to shoot one shot. They're like, that's all we need.
Yeah.
He fires just after Binga and Chapel exit the door, and I guess they get clear of it really quickly because they don't immediately die in the explosion of, photon torpedoes.
Let's not
warp
overthink
core.
this. Let's not overthink this, okay?
Okay. And Klingon ship is like, maybe we should hail him, and he's like, and Captain says, let's give him time for Spock to do CPR on his love interest. So he doesn't hail him right away, so Spock can go down and tell Chapel, I waited for you. You'll not die. You will not die. She wakes up. She's like, I like it rough. Give it to me, Spock. And he goes back to the bridge. The captain's like,
Omega didn't freeze to death, or he didn't freeze until he was unconscious because of his righteous beard.
Well,
It kept him warm.
It warms his brain.
That's right.
Anywho, the captain comes on. He's like, you were so scared of failure that you blew up your own ship. And Spock's like, no.
That doesn't
I'm a
make
Vulcan,
any sense,
man.
you dipshit. Yeah.
He's like, I know you're Klingon, but you're not that fucking dumb. He's like, well, we can only know this face to face. Spock's like, perhaps over a barrel of blood wine. You drink blood wine? Apparently, I'm not a normal Vulcan. So Spock beams down. We get a cute little scene of him and the Klingon captain drinking blood wine, and he goes and he talks to Commander Pelia, and she tells him that the worst thing about living forever is boredom. And there's a short supply of it on your ship. I think I will stick around.
And he says, you are Lanthanoid series. You would lived on Earth for hundreds of centuries.
Wow, that is a periodic table joke.
Yeah.
God damn, Willie.
And she says, you've lived on Earth for centuries and nobody knew. So they're apparently here now. BT dubs, look around.
So that's my new headcanon, is the character. Every time I see that character, I'm just gonna be like, yep, that's actually Lieutenant Pelila. She's an alien. She acts like an alien in Kimmy Schmidt. She's a weird character, but in that one, I think it's because she did like LSD in the 60s at Woodstock, because she's always talking about, the 60s and stuff like that. Anyway.
The actress is quirky in everything she's been in, back to freaking Taxi. I mean...
I have not seen Taxi. I don't know.
Nor have I. I was too busy watching good cinema like Star Trek.
Right. Okay.
I'm joking. I mean, I've never seen that. I don't even know what Taxi's about. Star Trek also wasn't cinema back then, but
Oh, when you said, I'm thinking about Taxi Driver. That's different. That's a very different thing.
Very, yes.
very different. I haven't seen either one of those then. I was thinking Taxi Driver 2. I was thinking Al Pacino.
That's De
No.
Niro, right? You talking to me?
Yeah,
It
that's
was De
no.
Niro,
This
yeah.
is the sitcom Taxi with
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know what that is.
hilarious.
I
But
think I've
anyway,
heard of it. Anywho, the day has been saved. Spock has a hangover, and he goes back, and the Admiral's like, "Well, I should be very disappointed in you, but
You did stop a war.
mm,
Ish.
if this happens next time, and it better not be next time, then I'll do something, young man."
But for now, you just enjoy that hangover.
Yeah, that's your punishment. I hope you learned your lesson, Spock. Which, to be fair, is more of a punishment than ever gets handed out in Discovery. So, Anyway. And then the other admiral turns to him and is like, and then you let him off that easy. He's like, we're going to need Spock if we're to fight. And he looks at the camera and goes, the Gorn. Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm. Was there ever actually an open hostility war with the Gorn? I thought it was just kind of like a let's avoid these motherfuckers type stance.
They fought a war with them in like the 29th century.
I don't know that for the most part. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. Excuse me, some of the more esoteric things, but yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that it was early on more of like a Cold War kind of thing, if anything.
A cold-blooded war.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean,
good job, Dad.
Nice.
Yeah, I say nice, but
No, I wasn't going for nice. I wasn't going for actually nice.
yeah, I don't know of any war with the Gorn. I think they're called the Gorn hegemony.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
is the name of their little group. So I'm guessing that this war doesn't ever happen. Either that or we're going to retcon it, which I'm completely fine. If Strange New Worlds wants to rewrite things, go for it.
Yeah,
I
well,
know it's pissed off a lot of people, but I don't care.
I'm sorry, as long as you're like, you can retcon and not be just like a dick about it, and so far they're doing well with that. I don't think in the era of the original series, I think you need to be aware of that canon, whatever it is, but you can't be precious about it. It was so long ago. And they were fucking making it up as they went along. I mean, they were not writing any of that with the intent of establishing a deep canon or anything like that. It was like, oh, let's do this bullshit this week. I mean, it's
no, absolutely. I love Strange New Worlds. It's so good. Like I made fun of this episode some because I'm a bitter old man, but like I really like this show.
Mm-hmm.
And it hits just about every week. Just nails it.
I mean, this week, if anything, just almost makes me like it more, even though it's not the strongest episode they've done. Just because it's like, okay, it shows that even when they have what you might loosely call an off week, it's still worth watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean it was a different formula, right? Like compare this to the Kronos bomb planting episode. a lot of similarities in what actually was going on, right? But think about how well this got executed versus Tilly getting high and eating Gormagander meat with uh fucking Howard, Ron Howard, not Ron Howard, the other Howard.
Yeah,
You
now I
know,
can't remember.
but it was all like kind of a subterfuge type episode, and um got to see kind of the seedy underbelly of a planet and all that. Like it was kind of a different formula, and I mean, I thought it was good. I joked about the super serum, super soldier serum, and building a spaceship underground and all that shit, and orbital mechanics be damned. But all in all, I mean, it was it was good. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a nice way to explore. I thought it was kind of weird that Pike just cheesed it at the beginning of the episode. He's gone for the rest. Like, I thought he was at least going to come back, but no, he was gone. He was in it for 2 minutes in the cold open and then gone. Right?
Well, that was a writing device because
Right.
you had to have Spock in command for this mission.
Well, I was kind of expecting him to like come back and the starbase, and they're like, yeah. So Spock took the Enterprise.
Make a
What the
funny.
fuck? Yeah. But I thought it was good. And then you got kind of your Nurse Chapel and Dr. Mongo, episode.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see the Klingons. Got to see some La'an again. I thought it was a good episode. I really didn't like the Federation professor character. She was woefully annoying.
That's a bold move, I think, bringing her on as Himmer's replacement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I found her amusing.
You don't know that it's a bold move, or that?
No, I don't know that. I don't know that she's going to be a problem. Personally,
I don't know that she's going to be a problem. With everything else around her being so good, she might be okay. If the whole crew were screwballs, then it would be too much. But we'll
but yeah, I think as such things tend to go, it will dial back just a little bit as it goes, because they don't have to make the point anymore that, hey, she's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I found her oddly charming. I don't know why.
She didn't bother me a whole lot. It was not especially.
He annoyed me, but
I felt like, especially later in the episode, she was less annoying than at the beginning.
That is very true, and maybe that's why.
I felt like they tried to make her as over the top as possible in the intro scene, and like Vorden said, maybe they'll dial it back a little bit.
Maybe.
I was really, really hoping that they would get Jet Reno, just like pull her back from the future somehow, because that would make this show fucking perfect. You put Reno on board.
Yeah. I was gonna say something I can't remember. Go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe they can find the descendant or an ancestor, and they'll just use the same character, the same actress, and everything. Since we've proven that that's doable, right?
Well, there is that.
My mom, Janet Reno, she served on the Hiawatha.
That's true. Totally do that.
I do remember. Not do remember. I am thinking. I was kind of surprised, like you guys, that. Well, I forget who it was at this point. I'm tired. That Pike was in it for like just 2 minutes. But I think we've got a very, very Pike heavy episode coming up. I have a feeling they're going to be addressing the whole Una situation, and I think it's going to be very pikey and very Una-y.
Very
And
pikey.
Probably
Well,
so.
that's fine.
I mean, they're obviously maneuvering him somewhere for something.
Star Trek Strange New World, Season 2, Episode 1, The Broken Circle. I'm looking forward to another season of this.
Mhm.
It's such a good show.
Yes.
Speaking of good shows, Voyager is not necessarily one, but we watched 2 episodes from it. And we had a theme here too. Like all good Voyager episodes, this one involved as little Chakotay as possible.
You just really don't like him, do you?
I really don't like Chakotay. Like it's not I don't hate him the way that I hate Rafi or Tilly. He's so boring. He just sucks. Like he's got a face tattoo and that's like his only defining characteristic. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry for the Chakotay lovers out there. I know he's got a big online contingent. I don't know that. I'm sure he does. But anyway, we picked 2 episodes. I picked both of these, and I picked them because I think the Doctor is one of the more interesting characters on the show. And so I got 2 favorite ones, kind of lighthearted. Being Message in a Bottle and Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy. And Warden, you had seen these before.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's been a bit, but yeah.
It's been a bit. Willie, you had not.
Correct. First time watching them.
So how did you feel about Message in a Bottle?
Well, I was reminded that Andy Dick did live in the 90s and did occasionally show up in places.
I feel like an archaeologist, like watching, like in the 90s, people actually found this man funny.
And
now he is
was
very unfunny.
and he was
He's
exactly
not.
what you would think Andy Dick was in that episode.
Yes.
I didn't think he was too bad.
No, I mean,
it's fine.
I enjoyed the episode, and I thought it was.
I mean, Andy Dick of today is very
enough. Right. He was just eccentric enough, in Andy Dickitude, to work in that scenario. He was a prototype. He didn't really know what to expect. But I thought it was fun. I thought they had a good. I thought they had pretty good, banter during the episode. Obviously, it was the first time I've seen it. I was very surprised when I saw it. And I'm like, is that Andy Dick? Because at first, like when the little avatar popped up or the thumbnail that I was scrolling through, I was like, that looks kind of like Andy Dick. Surely not. And then I watched it, and I'm like, it's Andy Dick, all right.
It's Andy Dick.
So.
So they beam him halfway across the galaxy to the
60,000 light years.
Prometheus. He's like, what is going on? Are we at war with the Romulans? He's like, no. Andy Dick says, nope. They haven't joined. They're neutral in our war against the Dominion. The Dominion? It's like, you missed a few
long
things.
story. Yeah.
Go watch DS9,
long story.
Doctor. The multi-vector assault mode. The ship.
That was the
Don't think too much about it. Don't think too much about it.
Oh man,
that's not the point. But they do,
or the fact that the Romulans know exactly how to operate it.
Mm-hmm.
I
like how he asks how many Starfleet crew members are on there, and she just says none alive.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit! They woke that one dude up just long enough to say,
"Yeah." Then he dies. No, I mean, I thought it was a good episode, and I do feel like, as a whole, Voyager's crew is pretty unlikable. I don't much care for any of them. They all kind of annoy me. The fact that they let Balana Torres have a pocket protector is annoying to me. I
I
mean,
thought that was
nobody.
great.
Uh, but it's like an overcoat. If you look, it's
Yeah, it's a
over.
jacket. Yeah.
It's over her uniform, but
Was she pregnant at
Yes.
that time? Yeah.
oh, is that what was going on there?
Yes, this was back in the era where they just tried to hide it poorly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she was pregnant on the show too, right?
Yeah.
At the time. So they worked it into the show.
But I enjoyed that episode. I thought it was good. And it's one of those deals where you can create technology when you need it to fit the plot without making it totally eye rolling, right? Like I could get behind, hey, we hijacked this signal network and we're able to send a signal 60,000 light years down, because we're using this technology, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with that.
And they shut it down afterwards so that we can't use it again.
I'm okay with that instead of them being like, hey, I found this dingle hopper in the cargo bay, and I think if I reverse the polarity in the batteries, I can send a signal 60,000 light years, right?
Yeah.
That shit annoys me. So at least they had something, right?
Right.
And then coming up with saying, hey, we can't really get these messages through, but maybe we can get a holographic program through. Still a ballsy maneuver, but okay, whatever. Like, let's do it. So
Doctor was like, that sounds dangerous. And Janeway's like, it is dangerous, but it's a risk I'm willing to take.
yeah.
Way to go, Cap.
I just cannot get behind Janeway. I just don't like her. Chakotay, I don't think I hate him as much as you do, but he's not real likable. Tom Paris he's okay. I really like the Doctor. 7 is getting a little bit better. It was real jarring the first time that I saw her in a Voyager rewatch. Balana's okay.
But you can see a difference in 7 just in these 2 episodes from season 4 to season 6.
Yes,
I
you
feel
can.
like.
You can. But yeah, I mean, just generally speaking, the crew's pretty unlikable. But it was fun getting to watch the Doctor. Apparently, he programmed himself a dangle and has been using it. That was kind of funny. And then Andy Dick was
Wait,
all
sex?
envious. Yeah.
But we don't even have. I made some modifications.
Was this episode before or after Blink of an Eye?
Before.
So he may have actually had a working dangle. That actually may have been his son.
Okay, well,
Blink of an Eye.
But he was a
programming
hologram.
a holographic penis is one thing. Programming it with holographic sperm that actually transmit your holographic genetic material, bit of a stretch. But it's possible. It's possible.
Computer, disengage the safety features of the holodeck.
Oh my god.
So anyway,
he could just mix it up. There's an episode of Lower Decks where they're trying to get this one girl to transfer, so they put her on the shittiest jobs on the ship, and one of them they have her emptying the cum catchers on the holosuite. The captain's like, "Do you use it for that?" And they're like, at first I was like, "That's the only thing it gets used for." They call it the biofilters the first few times, and then he's like, "What the hell?" She's like, "She's emptied cum from the cum catchers." That's what the biofilters are for. Oh my god. Anyway, so maybe he took some of that and just reorganized that genetic material a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, it's a silly episode, but it does have at least a couple like lingering effects. I mean, it starts. This is how the Pathfinder, I think it's called the Pathfinder Project, starts, where they start trying to actively contact Voyager, and that pays off down the line in a couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the race that was using the that they got on the communication network were the Hirogen hunters.
Yeah.
Who then there's a couple episodes with them hunting down Voyager.
Yeah, they're a mini arc of temporary villain. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does have a little bit of a tie into the rest of the series. Voyager, I would say Voyager is sort of analogous to Strange New Worlds Strange New Worlds may be more of an arc even. Voyager was standalone episodes that were peppering in things that were relevant to the overall series. Similarly to how Strange New Worlds does it.
So
Honest-
I got a side question for Joe Bob, since he's a stickler.
Hold on, I want to hear what Warden had to say.
Oh, I was just gonna say that Voyager really became almost like a string of multi-parters. I mean, they did a lot of mini arcs. They got to a point where true standalones were uncommon. Is maybe overstating it, but anyway, yeah, that's all.
I really only remember that in season 7. Maybe 6 did it too. But
how much more frustrating would it have been, though, to have had a season-long arc on a show that was coming on network TV once a week? You know, like, it's different when you sit down.
That was the argument against them.
It's different if you sit down and binge them, right? And like everything's fresh, right? But if you got to remember it over a 20-week period,
that was like the first 50 years of TV, dude. They did that all the time. At least on dramas.
What are you talking about?
Episode.
Well, I mean, that soap operas.
Not soap operas, though. Yes, but I mean, I'm talking about just like more. Well, I don't know.
Everything I felt like was episodic when I was growing up.
Well,
I don't really remember there being
the serials. You had the serials like Lost in Space and stuff, but I don't think it was quite as it wasn't quite as tied together as a Netflix show is that's 10 episodes. I mean, it was more just.
I remember the previously on, and you get like the 2-minute recap, right? And it would just show you in 2 minutes the things that you needed to remember, right? And then that was it. But I don't know. I was just thinking. I mean, it's a lot different than sitting down and binging a show right now. Like, even now, it feels so weird when a show releases, even a Netflix show that releases one episode a week. Have you noticed some shows are going back to that?
Mm-hmm.
And it annoys the shit out of me when they do that. Just release them all. You've got them all. Just release them all.
Well, they're worried people will cancel their subscription.
Which is exactly what I do every year when I finish The Witcher. I cancel it until the next Witcher season comes out. They've got my number, Netflix. So
you're not even paying for it, though. You're sharing a password with somebody.
I'm paying a whopping. I've got like the lowest fucking subscription you can get to. I don't want them to get any of my money. But I don't even remember where we were at. Y'all were talking about Voyager being mini arcs.
We were talking about Voyager. Warden, how do you feel about this episode?
It was fun. It's cute. It's I mean, it's. You're right. There are. I mean, there are definitely eye-rolling things. I mean, the whole Prometheus thing is interesting. As far as the whole concept of the ship, but yeah, I mean, it's No, at least it's an NX. You know, they're not trying to say that this is the future of Federation technology necessarily.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a fun episode. And mostly the doctor part of it is fun. Everything otherwise is just kind of meh. Um,
Yeah.
for me anyway. So some of the implications. I mean, I do kind of like at the end where they're like, oh, where they figure out they're not alone anymore, and all that kind of
Uh-huh.
stuff. And that's a neat moment. But yeah.
I guess I
This
never
is
realized that Janeway was engaged.
Yeah, I don't think it turns out well, from what I remember.
It doesn't. I looked it up because I didn't really recognize the name, but it was just I guess I always thought they left it ambiguous. They never really explored like much of the characters' histories. But
Oh,
I could be
they do. I mean, they get into it some,
okay.
but there's an episode where Chakotay goes back and we explore his past being boring as a child in the Peruvian jungle or wherever the fuck it was, looking for the sky spirits.
You just really hate Jacob.
No, I really
I
don't.
could hear it in your voice.
I'm not doing impressions of him because I can't do impressions of boring. I don't know how to do that. I can't even convey how inanimate he typically is. Anyway, Star Trek Voyager Season 4, Episode 13, Message in a Bottle. I like this episode. It's my least favorite of the two. The next one, though, Tinker, Tenor, Dr. Spy, I really like. Uh, this is two seasons later. Doc's gotten a little more development. He's adding to his program, wants to be a command hologram. Oh, Willie, what did you think of Tinker, Tenor, Dr. Spy?
So I was watching the opening scene, and once I got past my like, what the fuck is going on? I was
That's a
watching it.
brilliant cold open.
I was watching it with my wife, and she's like, "What is going on with this?" I'm like, "I'm not sure. We'll figure it out." I said, "But I'm kind of digging it a little bit." She goes, "Of course it is. This is you. You walk around all the time just singing about what is happening in the room that you're in."
Tuvok, I understand you are a Vulcan man,
Yeah,
and till we make it home, you have no bitch to bone.
yeah. So I thought I thought it was good. Um, obviously, uh, the alien species was almost like comedic. It reminded me of like an 80s sci-fi
Yes.
uh alien. They were kind of goofy. Really kind of reminded me. I got some Conehead vibes from them.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
they kept punching everything in on their little punch cards, putting it in, and then waiting on the lights to tell them what to do. Um, it was, um, but
That one
you
dude
know,
is like, I fucked up.
yeah, I've made a terrible mistake. Um, but I thought it was good. Like I thought there were a couple of moments in there that were good. Like when Janeway, when they were watching his fantasies, and they see the one where he was getting the emergency command hologram, and like Janeway hears him say like, "Hey, like I appreciate this. I just really wanted to explore what my capabilities are and all this." Like it was kind of peppered in there to where it actually did show a
Yeah,
little bit he wasn't just the butt of all the jokes for the whole
right. I want to be
episode.
able to protect the people I love.
Yeah. So like I thought that was good.
Oh boy, if people could see my daydreams in the holodeck, it would not go
Yeah, it would
down
not
well.
be good. Yeah.
Ooh.
I liked at the end when Seven gave him a peck on the cheek. She was like, "That was clearly platonic." will not be one of your. I will not be a muse.
Yeah,
Thought that was good.
I will not pose for you because he was
Yeah.
drawing like she was on the fucking Titanic.
Yeah. But I thought it was a good ship in a bottle episode for the Doctor. I mean, he got to ham it up, right? Which he clearly was loving.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the Borg
bring
attack.
on the photonic cannon.
Species unknown. Oh, you're about to know.
Yeah. So I thought it was good. It was a fun watch.
The one where like Balana is like, but I want to be with you. He's like, I know Tom Paris is such a fucking loser, and Paris is like, what the shit, man?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a dirty old man. Which
Yes, he is.
you find out that the guy that programmed him is a dirty old man, so it makes sense because he has sexual fantasies about every single woman on the ship, apparently. Which, yeah, you know, checks out. It was the 90s.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes, it
This,
was.
this episode was produced by Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Was this
And
the episode with Balana bitching about Seven? Or was that
No,
the
that was the other.
episode?
that was the
Okay, that was
previous
the other one.
episode, yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I was saying. You could kind of tell a difference in Seven's demeanor from season 4 to season 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, Warden, how do you feel about this episode?
It was cute. I like this one, and yes, I like it one better than the other one. I I kind of got to. I mean, I knew I remembered bits of it as I was watching it, but it's been so long for this one in particular that that I had seen it that it was like watching it for the first time. The potato people are hilarious. They actually kind of reminded me of like aspects of like the Vogons from the Hitchhiker's Guide books, but
Oh, yeah.
the whole overly bureaucratic kind of
Yeah.
but yeah, it was cute. I enjoyed it. I like the Doctor as a character, so him having a chance to just run with it is cool. And the scenes where you know they're getting to when they're first start realizing that they're seeing his basically his daydreams and how awkward that is for literally everybody. It's
Mm-hmm.
is rather fantastic. So yeah, I liked it.
Good. Good deal, yeah. Willie, which one did you like better of the two?
Probably the second one. Yeah, just because I felt like the Doctor hammed it up more, and there was just so much wrong with the plot elements of that first episode that even though it was funny, kind of seeing the back and forth of Andy Dick and the Doctor. You know, at least this one had somewhat of a cohesive plot and it had an interesting premise. Even though I don't know what a quantum tunneling sensor is, but I guess that's a predecessor to the portal gun. And yeah, but I thought it was clever.
Yeah, I thought so too. I like it. Good week, guys.
Yeah,
I thought
good
it was a
week.
good week of Star Trek. Anyway, next week we got more Strange New Worlds and more Star Trek Picard. You think the nostalgia bait's over on Picard and they'll get into fresh
No.
territory?
I think it has only just begun.
I'd say one thing. I'm excited to watch the next week of Star Trek.
I don't think that Picard is going to be satisfied until Joe Bob is gasping on the floor
Maybe.
and a pool of his own nostalgia come. I mean, it's just
You could be
Joe
right.
Bob's gonna hit Pod Far about episode 5.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, Warden, what we're gonna do couple classics this week too?
yeah, I figure.
Do you want to stick with Arena?
I
Or do
think
you
we're
wanna
going to wait
change?
on that one.
Okay.
Reason being is I think we have a big courtroom style episode coming up for Strange New Worlds. If
Okay.
I just looking at the stills, so to speak, and the teasers.
Cheater.
Go what?
I said cheater.
They're only trailers that they let anybody see. I'm not watching the episode or anything.
I'm just kidding. I don't.
um,
I try not to even look at the
yeah, I know,
picture.
yeah. Yes, I am fully aware that you are significantly more pure than me. So,
As the driven snow.
I think it would be pertinent to watch one of the many Star Trek courtroom or court scene legal, we'll say, episodes. And since many of them are actually kind of I figure we just do the best one and actually do an episode of TNG.
Oh, which of the two is it?
I was going to do Measure of a Man.
Okay.
Reason, yeah.
That's fair. I would have been fine with the drumhead.
And they're both great. My thing is, if we're going to have an episode about Illyrian rights, it only makes sense to me that we would have another episode and to compare it to that was talking about somebody's rights. So
There's also a Voyager one where Voyager does Measure of a Man, but not as well, where they do for the Doctor.
right.
But we're not going to do that one.
But why would we do not as good when we...
That's why I'm saying we're not going to do that one.
Right. Well, and it's been a while, so I mean, we've done like exactly one Star Trek Next Generation episode on this show, so
right.
I mean, I can't believe y'all are not going to pull Unification 3 if we're looking for a good courtroom sway the jury scene.
I'm not
episode.
banging that gong.
There was, and I can't remember what it's called at the moment. There was, I was almost gonna do the DS9 one with Worf, but I'm like, no, I want to do that one has issues. I mean, it's good enough, I guess, but it's not like, oh crap, So yeah.
Okay, let's see. The last 2 weeks I've gone with lighthearted. Oh, Warden, should we do?
Well, mine is rather anyway deep, if not heavy. I don't know if it's heavy, but yeah. So maybe I mean I know, but of course, do what you want.
Oh, I kind of don't want to do Far Beyond the Stars this week. I love it. What do you think between Rocks and Shoals and In the Pale Moonlight?
Need to remind myself. Oh boy. no, Garrick. I love Garrick. It's the first gay character on Star Trek.
Other than Sulu.
Well, I mean, the actor was
not
the
actor.
character.
Well,
he wasn't gay until the reboot.
well, the character Garrick's not gay.
Right.
He's. I mean, he's. I'm not saying he's not bisexual, but he has a romantic female romantic interest as well. Remember?
Yes. Well, but there's rainbows there, sweetheart.
Dude, you're telling me a Taylor is gonna be gay?
He is but a humble tailor. We could Rocks and Shoals. That sounds good.
Rocks and Shoals. That is a good one. In the Pale Moonlight's my favorite. I think it may be my favorite DS9 episode. So we may hold on to that one.
Yeah, let's keep that powder dry for now, and see if we can find an episode that another episode or show or a something that it might line up against just right. But like an episode that looks like it's gonna be very political or something like that, and see.
Let's do Rocks and Shoals. Rocks and Shoals is fun. That is. I'll have to look up what I believe that's a season 6 episode, but I'm not 100% certain.
It is season 6, episode 2.
All right.
All right.
Well, guys, I enjoyed
Decided?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Did we take us out yet?
We have
not yet.
That was all online, baby.
Okay.
Getting to see the sausage being made.
Indeed.
We might cut it out of the actual release and just put it on the Blu-ray for the special feature. Do they do Blu-ray anymore? Is that still a thing?
They do.
What
few discs
on a disc in I don't have anything that'll play a disc. Well, I guess I got it on Xbox.
What few discs they release, they will release a Blu-ray or even a 4K Blu-ray.
I would buy DS9 if they remastered it, but they never fucking will.
I thought that they really thought. I thought they were going to. They said something, or that might have just been one of those tease articles that said it would be possible, and they still haven't done it. But yeah, I'm on the same.
I think they lost a boatload of money when they did it on TNG, and it was going to cost even more to do it with DS9. It has to do with the way that the effects were rendered.
Right.
Because, that was in the early... Basically, they would have to completely re-render every CGI shot, which would be very time and labor intensive.
But might be cool because they could dress them up a little bit. And
oh yeah, God! Look, I would pay
just having
more money than I should for a totally remastered 4K DS9.
I mean, just the effects for the changelings being a little less blobby would be nice, but
no. Oh my God, Dominion War in 4K. Yes, please. Shut up and take my money.
Paramount says no.
Well, Paramount does not know what the fuck it's doing.
Well,
the whole thing with Prodigy is so weird.
Yes. Oh my, yes. I'm not even sure if I want to watch the show, and I'm like, are you guys understanding that this is like it's still technically a canon Star Trek show, and you're treating it like, like one of these ridiculous startup shows that
Well, I watched the first 2 episodes of it. Apparently, that was the kiss of death because I was like, I'm just gonna see what it's like. I watched the first 2 episodes. I was like, it's like a mediocre Clone Wars episode, but maybe it gets better. And then they're like, we're pulling it. It was seriously like 3 days later they announced that. I was like, oh,
You're like, oh, okay, well,
okay. Because I was thinking it's a show none of us have seen, so if the first 2 episodes really hooked me, I was like, well, we can start watching this. But no.
it does sound like they're gonna at least release the end of the season on disc. Speaking of, so
Yeah, I don't care about that much.
yeah. So okay,
All right, I'll buy it from an Orion.
okay,
Pirated,
sounds good. Yeah.
download it. Anyway, it's a good show that you can't. I don't even know if you can buy it. I've only ever seen it pirated. Did you ever watch Space Above and Beyond?
No.
Okay, never mind. That's too much of a rabbit hole to go down right now.
Okie dokie.
We will be back next week with the second episode of season 3 of Picard, season 2 of Strange New Worlds, plus a couple classics, Measure of a Man, Rocks and Shoals, Warden. I would like the ship to go.
The Biblio Warden, Joe Bob, and Mr. Willie signing off.